boys and girls, men and women, dogs and cats. We're just pulling out the baler, and we're gonna be baling here shortly. We just gotta do two things. Number one is loop the chains in there, and then we gotta fill that reservoir for the wheel bearing on that 7520 again, because it was leaking, of course, if you watched the last video. And then I'm gonna be moving bales, but before we get to baling, well, Dad's gonna take off with the baler. I'm gonna feed the cattle quick while he's baling before all the dew lifts off. I shouldn't say that. Before the sun comes out too much and starts drying out that hay, because we don't want to lose our leaves. Penetrating oil, we need lubricating chain lube.
What these are for, right?
Nah, looks like they mark buried cables.
No. Well, that was their first life. But we use them to herd toads. You know, you slap them on the back just like the cattle. They're smaller. Toad herding slappy.
Okay. For those of you new here, this tire's leaking lube from the wheel bearing seal, and so it's going everywhere and it's kind of a mess. And if it runs dry and we run it a bunch, we're gonna destroy that bearing, which would be really expensive. So we keep filling it with lube. We obviously need to get that seal fixed, put a new seal in, but just right now this is kind of what we're going with because we're a little busy right now. All right, so Dad's gonna take off. We checked that reservoir and it was actually good. We must have overfilled it yesterday pretty good.
Hey, CT Pliers, you want to be my sponsor? I'll put a nipple on it for you.
Alright. Anyway, oh, there's a spider. Jeepers creep. I want to mention a couple things before people start saying stuff. Number one, why is our baling tractor so big? Some of you may think, oh, that's not even a big tractor, but others are going to be like, well, that's way too big of a tractor. Well, the answer is that's the tractor we have available to us. Everything else is either hooked up or they got other special jobs. And honestly, it's a 215 horse tractor. It's not too big of a deal. Second question is, why are there duals on there? You should take those duals off. Well, this tractor does other things that require duals. We don't find the reduced wear from taking off those tires is worth taking them on and off all the time. So it's really not a big deal. Plus in these haylands, there's a lot of badger holes, big holes, and having duals makes the ride a little smoother. Say one tire goes in, the other will help keep the whole tractor from falling in that hole. And so it's not a big deal at all. That's all I gotta say about that. We only had to feed 3 pens, and 2 of those pens were split with 1 load, so feeding's been pretty easy since all the cows are with their calves out on pasture. I just need to let Dad get ahead of me so I'm not running everywhere grabbing bales when he can get a good portion of the field done. Then there's a lot of bales. I don't know what in the heck. Oh my gosh. Ellie. Are you serious right now? Don't lick me, you nasty. Oh, good Lord. 2 freaking videos in a row I had to do this. Oh. Head over to that first field, start grabbing some bales. Small field, and the hay isn't the best. It's an old stand of alfalfa. It's getting a little thin. We thought about taking it out of production last year and planting soybeans in there, but since we had so much moisture, the first cutting last year was pretty amazing. And so we thought, well, maybe we'll just keep it going. But this year we didn't get as much rain. It's still been wet, mostly because we're still living off of last year's moisture. Needless to say, that field is getting old and it's getting ready to, I need some water. Ooh, it's hot in there. One thing that I really like about the 7520 is that it's got this stiff chair, and if I put my hands on the armrest and I push back, oh, I can give myself the best chiropractic care possible. So if you have back trouble, guys, go buy yourselves a 7520. It'll take care of all of it. In this area, you can't really hardly even see the windrows. It's because it kind of drowned out. There's a few drowned out spots. The alfalfa's killed, which is adding to us wanting to just kill off this stand of alfalfa because it's pretty poor and there's spots of basically no alfalfa at all. So I'm guessing this fall we're gonna spray it, probably chisel it or plant something else in here for a couple years, but we're probably gonna go right back to alfalfa because it's just a nice, it's a decent piece for alfalfa. Right after I said that, Dad called me. He said, I think I want to spray this off and then plant sorghum in it so we can get a little more silage this year. He's pretty disappointed with how it's going, especially for how much moisture we've had. Dad just picked up the last of the hay here, and I'm full, so I'm gonna head home, unload this. We'll get these unloaded, grab the rest of them. I don't think it'll even be a full load, and then we'll head over to the piece that Dad's just about to start, and we'll get some drone video of that. Should take just a couple minutes. These bales are looking pretty good.
I'm sitting up really high compared to what I'm used to.
Yeah, we used to run the 7530 on the baler, but we traded that off when we got our 8285R.
So we got a little more horse on here.
Yeah, she's a little bigger, a little nicer. Nicer ride, maybe?
Nicer ride. I still like that little tractor. It was a good one.
And the hay's starting to get a little dry. You can see we're losing some leaves, but
2 rounds left, so we're finishing her up.
yeah, we try to start when it's too wet, and then we end when it's too dry. That's about as best you can do.
On average, it's perfect.
Bingo. Got this monitor down here. The number in the bottom right is telling us our diameter, and then them 2 bars are kind of telling us what side is getting bigger than the other. And so we just kind of drive left and right, keep the bale even, and once it gets to probably 62, it gives us a warning.
64,
which is coming up here in a little bit.
That bar graph it's ultra sensitive. When I first got this baler, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm making a crooked bale. But boy, you know, if you're off a couple bars, it's, now look at, we're just about ready to, it's telling us now to dump the bale out, and it makes a pretty square bale even if we're off a couple bars, you know, one side smaller than the other, because it's so dead on.
Out here we made 44 bales. On that first piece, only 26. I think I'll water this alfalfa quick. It's sprinkling right now. The heck? Bulls will like that. Oh, we're gonna get a bellyache. That's some good stuff. Took 'em about 3 minutes to find it. I bet that is some good stuff. I like to imagine, you know, how they're feeling, like what I would be eating. What would make me feel like they're feeling right now? Probably maybe a steak, you know, a really nice steak done medium with some A1 sauce, a prime rib. Yeah, just mouth water and just, I'm gonna eat until I die type feeling. Yeah, that was a lot of hay. Well, if you look out to the west, really anywhere, there's clouds moving in, and Dad's shutting the door. We're preparing for something nasty. You want to grab me a water too? My phone's saying at 5 it's gonna start raining, and that's 4 hours away. We didn't really think that hay was gonna be ready to go, but the stuff that was cut first 2 days ago on that 70 acres is pretty dry. Honestly, it's to the point where it's a little too dry and we're gonna be losing leaves. But wouldn't you say the worst thing that can happen to alfalfa is it gets rained on?
Blow away.
Yeah, a tornado takes it and puts it in someone else's other, maybe even a different county.
We're gonna bail. If we don't like it, we'll quit, but we're gonna try it.
Yeah. You know, we'd rather have alfalfa baled that's lost a few leaves other than something that gets blown away or gets a big old drenching rain on it, because you can lose, your quality goes down really fast when that happens. All right, so Dad's gonna be getting the stuff right behind me, and we're gonna go. The stuff I'm flipping seems a little wet. Dad just dumped the first bale. He's gonna see what that feels like. It's just hard to make decisions. He thinks it's too wet. Yeah, you can feel it.
If
it's like, it's kind of squishy.
Yeah. Well, it's not good. It's waxy yet.
Well, we got what we wanted to get baled done, other than the 70 acres that we thought we could. I just got a sprinkle on me now. The sun's trying to poke out. It's staying dark, but in the next 24 hours we're gonna get rain, and that alfalfa's gonna get rained on, which stinks. But we could use a rain, so you know, it's kind of a catch-22 here. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep checking them out. It's the start of haying. We're gonna be haying a lot here. We're gonna be making a lot of bales. So I hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Are you sure you're a bull? 'Cause you look pretty pregnant.